Hello everyone, and welcome back to Soft Voice Tales. Today my topic is, when the light stayed on. Every night at exactly 9:30, an old yellow light turned on in the corner apartment at the end of the street. People noticed it, but no one ever questioned it. Some thought it was a habit. Others believed the resident simply forgot to turn it off. But for Ariba, that light meant something far deeper. She had been switching it on for 7 years. That apartment once echoed with laughter, late-night tea conversations, and soft music playing in the background. It was small, but it was warm. It was home, and it was where she lived with her husband, Saad. Saad had a habit of coming home late from work. No matter how tired he was, he would always text her one simple message. "Light on Rakna, I'm almost home." So she did, every night. Then one evening, the message never came. The phone rang instead. Ariba remembered the sound clearly, sharp, sudden, and cruelly loud in the silence of the room. She didn't remember the words spoken on the other end. She only remembered her hands trembling and the way the world felt unreal afterward, like a dream she couldn't wake up from. Saad never came home that night. The days after the funeral passed like fog. People visited, spoke kind words, and slowly returned to their lives. But Ariba remained stuck in the same moment, the moment when she realized she would never receive that message again. Yet every night at 9:30, she still turned the light on. At first, it was habit. Then it became hope. And eventually, it became a promise she made to herself. Because somewhere deep inside, she believed that as long as the light was on, Saad wasn't completely gone. Years passed. The street changed. New families moved in. Children grew taller. Trees lost leaves and grew them back again. But that light never failed. Sometimes Ariba would sit by the window, watching the empty road below. She imagined his footsteps, his familiar cough, the way he smiled when he saw her waiting. She talked to him in silence. "Today I almost forgot to water the plants," she would whisper. "I made your favorite tea, it didn't taste the same. I'm trying to be strong, but some days are harder than others." Grief doesn't disappear with time. It only becomes quieter. One rainy evening, there was a knock at her door. Ariba hesitated. No one ever visited anymore. When she opened it, she found a young boy standing there, soaked from the rain, holding a small notebook. "I'm sorry to disturb you," he said softly. "I live across the street. My grandmother, she passed away last week." Ariba felt her chest tighten. She nodded gently, understanding too well. The boy continued, "She used to say that when she felt lonely at night, she looked at your window. The light made her feel like someone was awake with her." Tears welled up in Ariba's eyes. "She told me to thank you," he added. She said that light reminded her that love doesn't really leave. That night, Ariba cried, not from pain, but from something warmer. Something healing. For the first time, she realized the light wasn't just for Saad. It was for her, and for others who needed it without even knowing. Still, one question lingered in her heart. How long should someone hold on? A few weeks later, at exactly 9:30, Ariba stood by the switch as usual. Her hand paused. She closed her eyes. "Saad," she whispered, "I think I know now. You were never waiting outside. You were always here." She turned the light on, and then, for the first time, turned on another one, the lamp in the center of the room. The apartment felt brighter than it had in years. That night, she slept peacefully. The next evening, the corner light didn't turn on. People noticed, but this time, no one worried. Because inside that apartment, Ariba was learning to live again, not by forgetting, but by carrying love forward. Some lights are not meant to stay on forever. They are meant to teach us how to find light within ourselves. Thank you for listening to today's story on Soft Voice Tales.